Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to the podcast by Sophia. How are you today? What do you feel what did you feel when you read the title of this podcast? What happens within you? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. What happens in your body? But also what happens in your surroundings. Because your surroundings are a reflection of what you are sending out at this time. So take notice. Does it feel comfortable? Or does it make you a little nervous? It is all okay. Don't identify with it. Just observe it. Experience it. So, let's take off. Today I wanted to talk to you about feeling stuck. I know you felt stuck at one point. Or maybe now. But the past few days I felt stuck. And yet I didn't. I just now, a few hours ago, realized I was struggling against quicksand the past few days without realizing it. So I felt stuck. And it's really interesting because I always had a lot of growth since I started my process of spiritual awakening and my personal development. But the last few weeks it was a massive expansion, really massive expansion. And in the beginning of this week, I don't know how to say it. It didn't stop because it's still going on, but it felt like it stopped. All the things that I started last weeks felt like it felt like someone pressed a pause button or something like that. And everything I was doing, I was starting, I'm stumbling. It felt like I was pressing the play button again, and automatically somebody else pressed the pause button again, over and over and over and over again. So it felt like really, really frustrating at sometimes the past couple of days. And there were moments that I could sit with it and just let it be and observe it. But there were still moments where I let an identity, an old identity, a really old one, take over, and she started to fight against all these things that weren't flowing like they were the last couple of weeks. And I just realized it this morning. And it's so fascinating to see what you've been doing for 2 or 3 days. And it made me smile, because the moment you see the shadows of that old identity come into the light, and by bringing them into the light, you can transform, you can transmute them into something that is useful for you. Really for you, for who you truly are, not for those identities that are convenient to help you maneuver other people's wishes, how they would like you to be, or how you believe they would like you to be. That's more the right conclusion, because we believe someone wants us to be like this or that. It's not necessarily what they want, but it's what we believe. So when you see what you're doing, I was fighting. I got in an old system where I was fighting to take control, and it was a coping mechanism that helped me survive for a long time. And I don't need that coping mechanism anymore, because I don't need to survive anymore. And neither do you. That's why I'm putting this in the podcast, so you can get out of that quicksand and get out of that survival mode you've been in for so long. And it was simply a programmation that you had in your system, because you believed, and society made you believe, that you just could survive and not live, that you just could stay up in the quicksand on the edge of not drowning in it. But that's not you. That's not you, and you know that. You know that you are here to live, to fully live. That's what you brought to this space today. You can take action in those moments you feel stuck. But it's always from the importance is, from which place are you taking these actions? Are you taking them? Am I taking them from ego, identity, survival mode? Or are you taking action from alignment with your core being, who you truly are. That makes all the difference. And in just realizing this morning, I was acting out of an old coping mechanism and not acting out of my core being, Sophia. It switched everything. I could see things differently. I could experience all there is for me. And anxiety and worries, and it all fell away. Like that, it just fell away. It is just that easy if you allow yourself to surrender. If you allow yourself to take a step back and not identifying with everything that is happening around you and within you, because everything that happens around you is a reflection of what's happening within you. And I got fixated by an identity on certain things. My growth was so huge the last couple of weeks. My old identity tried to hold on to who I was before. And that's why I got stuck in stupid little details that really do not matter. And my environment, my surroundings, it seemed like everything was blocking. And I got stuck in that quicksand. It's so fascinating. So yeah, recognize what you are doing. Observe it and align with your core being. Take your time to sit with yourself, just as I did. And I was doing those things also the last few days, sitting with myself, observing, but I was observing with how do you call it? With glasses on, that just I was observing with tainted glasses. So I didn't get the whole picture. And this morning in the shower, I could take a step back and observe everything. And that's a huge difference. That's really a huge difference. Just taking a step back to look at the whole picture of what you are doing, of what I was doing. And it changes your reality in an instant when you can do that. Because you can take actions that are aligned with your core being. And then suddenly the quicksand doesn't exist anymore. It's a beautiful pond where you can swim, enjoy the water, get the information the water gives you. The information you need in that moment. In this moment. To take action that is helpful for you. That lets you live and enjoy life. And not being stuck in survival mode. Because that's not why you're here. No. You are here to live. To experience everything there is for you. Everything. All those beautiful things you believed they were not for you. You can and you will experience them. Take a step back and surrender. Observe. Because you've experienced the other side already. And it doesn't mean you will never feel grief or sadness or anger again. But you've already experienced all those things because you believed that's what life is. And you believed that experience the complete beauty of life was not for you. But it is for you. You can feel the joy. You can feel everything. The love, the health, the wealth. The people around you that are aligned with who you truly are. You can have it all. But you need to stop fighting. So, I wish you surrender at this time. I wish you the power to observe everything there is, to feel everything there is. And I know you can stop identifying with everything that's not helpful for you. I know you have that power in you. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. So for now, let this message sink in even deeper. And I will hear you soon. Love, Sophia.